Welcome back to another Wartales video. This one is a very exciting one and we'll cover the second community update for Wartales. There's going to be a few different things to be going through and I am extremely excited to be talking about them and showing them to you. Okay, so I've been playing around a little bit. I've got a kind of a hard run that I started in Tiltron with the new scaled mode, which I'm going to the new non-scaled mode, I should say, which I'm going to be talking about a little bit later in the video. But I thought if I had these guys going and it just kind of showed you what some of the new features were, it would be a little bit easier than just kind of me talking to a roadmap picture or anything like that. So we've got this group standing along in Tiltron. We're about a month in, as you can see, and the very first feature that I want to show is the new quest log over here on the left hand side. So this is one that a lot of people were asking for, just because once you start running around the map and particularly on your first few runs where you're not too sure where any of these things are or what you have to do for the quests, the quest log really helps with that. So basically, once you've been to a location and you've talked to the person who can give you the information, you'll get a quest log. So if I mouse over the Tiltron jail where I've still got the exclamation mark, you'll see hand over a prisoner. And if I just mouse over that, I'll get a little bit more information about how to complete that quest. Now, there will be some where you visited a particular place, and you can see here, this is at the Vitruvian Stables, so up to the north of the map. However, I actually haven't talked to the person that gives the quest, so I don't know any more information about that. It, however, does still tell me the location of where that person is, so I can go back and I can chat around to people in that building and find it. So the quest log is really cool. Once you tick things off, you can, minimize them and get rid of them so that you can keep your objectives list nice and clear and just focus on the stuff that you want to focus on. So that's really cool. I'm a big fan. Clicking on them does take you to them and, flash it so you can see exactly where it is as well. So it's some really cool stuff in the quest log. Okay, item number 2, within the camp. Now, there's been a couple of changes within the camp and sort of general inventory. So over here on the left, you can now see sort your inventory. So you've got 3 different sorting options: type, price, and weight. I think there's still a few things that kind of show up in weird places, like, the throwing knife I would consider a weapon, but it's not showing up near the weapons and armor, that kind of stuff. And sometimes because of the bulk and the size of some weapons, depending on what's in your inventory, it's maybe not quite a perfect sort. However, it does neaten it up nicely so that it's all there. You can sort by price, where it'll put the most expensive things at the top and the cheapest things down the bottom. Or you can sort by weight as well. And again, heaviest things at the top, lightest things down the bottom, all things with no weight even. So it's a nice little addition to the game, just to help people sort their inventory and keep it that little bit neater for those who like keeping it neat. I have to admit, mine, I pretty much leave messy still, just because, I can. However, there is another addition to the camp as well. So over here on the left hand side, you'll see a new recipe that is craftable at the workshop, and it is called the Camp Chest. So again, people on Discord, Steam have been asking for a place to store items. Now, a lot of the requests had been coming in saying, I want to store them in town. I want some kind of safe house, that sort of thing. However, I really love that they've added it into the camp and made it the Camp Chest, because the camp is, I've said in other videos, like that extra character that follows you around, right? So being able to just store stuff in your camp, I think, makes total sense. It's a craft available right from the beginning of the game. I think it costs like 6 ore and 6 lumber, something along those sorts of lines. And once you craft it, you just pop it down like anything else. Now, things in your chest they do count towards your weight limit. However, they don't count towards things like crafting. So let's say if I put my salt in here, for instance, I then went into my cooking pot and went to cook, I would be getting told that I have no salt. So this is something that I might like to see maybe improved or tweaked as the game goes on. I think having things like cooking materials in your camp chest, or even food, makes a lot of sense. Why carry it around in your bags if you're just going to, eat it when you stop and rest for the evening anyway? So maybe we'll see some further improvements on the camp chest as well, but it is another great way to have things in there that you're not wanting to carry around all the time. So with this group, for instance, I've put in some level 5 crafted items, managed to get lucky with a nice 3-star there on that one. And, you know, I've put them over here, and so they're not taking up the inventory space. So if I've got armor and weapons still in my inventory, that means I know I can sell them. And then everything that I know I want to use in the future, I store here. I've got some medium armor that's, you know, not anything particularly special, but in the back of my mind, I know I want to recruit someone who's going to wear it, and it's better to give them something than have to go and buy something new as soon as I recruit them. So stored there for the future. So the camp chest is a neat little feature. It does actually have the sorting options as well. So even once you've loaded that up, you can sort it and you're good to go again. Now, I believe the camp chest does have limited space, so it's not, it doesn't forever expand like your inventory. I don't know, maybe I can test while I'm going here. I think if you hold down control, you can transfer entire stacks of stuff at the same time. And will it keep filling up? There we go. It does look like it keeps expanding. So I have learned something new. The camp chest will continue to expand as it goes. That is very good to know. Okay, cool. So that is the camp chest covered as well, inventory, and then the next thing we're going to show you is just nearby. So if you notice on the map earlier, there is now a new type of building. So the companion training grounds, this is something that hasn't existed previously, and I think is a really cool addition. So we're just going to run over there now. And the companion training grounds, as you can guess, are a place where you can teach your companions new skills, or the coveted respec if you've made a mistake with your companions and want to change it up a little bit. So you just talk to this guy over here, and he will give you all of the manuals for the starting utility skills, as well as the skill mastery books as well. Now, this is a really cool addition because it means that you no longer are forced down the crime and chaos path to level 4 and having access to the black market to get it. So you can run a much more peaceful, amiable, I'm not going to kill guards, I'm not going to steal things, and you can still get access to all the skills in the game and to build your party up, which is really nice. They are more expensive, so at the black market you'll only pay $150 for each of these as opposed to the $300. However, skill mastery books have always been $300, so it is a bit more expensive, but overall I think just having access to them for people that want to run the game in a particular way is a really, really cool addition. You can do the respecialization as well. Now, it is a 500 gold cost, which is quite expensive, particularly on a character by character basis. However, when you consider what you have to put in to get another character up to that sort of same level, same specialization, I mean, look, it's probably 50-50 whether you should just kick the current guy out or you should hire someone new. So, for instance, when I get to level 5, I'll be able to recruit level 3s from the tavern. They'll be able to do almost every single thing that my level 5 character will, except have the level 5 skill, obviously, and using level 5 steel crafted weapons. Depending on the type of character, this may or may not be a make or break. And I guess one thing I'm keen in the comments, and as you're playing the game, think about or see whether you would use this 500 gold respecialization fee, or if you think it's a little bit too over the top. Let me know, comments, Discord, whatever, keen to hear feedback on it. It's a brand new implementation. I think putting it in there in the first instance is exactly the right step. And then we'll just kind of see how much they're going to be used. So they're kind of the main camp changes as such. There have been a few mechanical changes as well. So there was a bit of a problem with bandit lairs not reducing their strength when you killed groups. That's all been fixed up. There is a new kind of combat element when you find an enemy group. Let me see if I can find someone here for this example. And when you attack an enemy now and you manage to ambush them, your formation changes. So previously with your formation, it was fairly well set, and you got split apart in little groups, that kind of thing. However, now if you do manage to ambush someone, and I'm hoping there's someone nearby, there we go, what will actually happen is you will surround them. So when you charge up behind them, you can get this ambush, and we can see the group here. And this will be something interesting to talk about soon as well in the no scaled mode. But when we jump into the fight, you'll see that we actually surround them. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole fight because this is not a playthrough video. This is just to demonstrate. And then I'm going to talk about the final, most exciting change of the whole thing, which is the no scaling mode. Okay, so in this fight now, all of the enemy are grouped up in this center area, and our team are around them. This map's maybe not the best example that I've seen in this playthrough. Normally I've actually formed, you know, like a big semicircle kind of arc around the enemy, which has been really, really cool. The fact that they're grouped up works quite nicely. It does sometimes help with AoE characters if you're going for more of an AoE build, and particularly when there's more enemies on the field, they'll be just that little bit tighter, which is good. Okay, so I'm just going to jump out of this back into the main menu. One of the other changes which we could not demonstrate in this fight is that enemy archers can now hit their own units as well. So this was it was a bit of a bug that was introduced in one of the patches where enemies never shot their own teammates. Now they can. So you will see things like poachers actually become a little bit of a liability for the enemy team at times, which is it's nice. I actually quite like seeing the enemies hit themselves in the back. Okay, cool. So when you kick off a new game now, no change to the starting destinies or companions or floors, but we have a new option for exploration here. This is either free, which is what the previous patches were on, or the new option, which is region locked. Now, I was a skeptic, I have to say. I really like the scaled mode. I really like that enemies get stronger as you do. However, region locked has been asked for by many people, and now that I have played it a little bit, I have to say I'm actually becoming a little bit of a fan of it. So basically, it looks like a very simple choice, and it seems to be something very, very small. You know, there's a little bit of information about it, roam the world, or each region has a set difficulty, and it's going to take more time than I'm going to put into this video to explain what this is and to show you all what it is. It's probably almost best explained through a bit more of a playthrough than just sitting here. But in essence, there's, you know, a set level of enemies within the map. Now, it's not always generated the same. So just because you started brand new playthrough doesn't mean that every single group of enemies will be the exact same level every single time. It does change depending on which region you start in, and even starting in one region, you might get some different enemy groups as well. So they've done a really cool little implementation with it there. What happens with the region locked version, and I might just jump back into the game that I was showing you just then. And you can see I named this one the patch video just because that's what it was going to be for. So the group that I have here, we are a team who are mostly level 4 now, a couple of level 3s. No, all level 4 now, heading towards level 5. And that was basically through fighting around and doing a whole bunch of stuff in Tiltrim. I then decided to venture up to Wartales. Now, I got probably about 10 meters past the gateway into Wartales. I camped, some guards found me, and it was a level 7 group of guards that ambushed me. I attempted the fight, and I actually did manage to win it with 2 members of my team surviving. But of course, going down to 2 team members in a mode where there's no scaling meant that there was absolutely no chance of me progressing any further. So I reloaded the game and, you know, skipped the guard group basically. I then went around and explored a little bit of Wartales, finished a couple of little quests like the flooded mine, took a couple of sort of random fights around the place. No quests though yet. And most enemy groups were level 6 or level 7. I did check out Colonel Alexa, who was much higher level than level 6 or level 7. I'll let you investigate and explore that yourself. But basically, I decided that Wartales was a little bit too hard for my group because I think I had some level 3s while I was still running around. Fighting larger parties of level 6 enemies with a level 3-4 team was tough. So I was taking a lot of damage, a lot of wounds, a lot of armor damage every single fight, and it meant that I was actually starting to you know, get a bit low and lose some money. So I've headed back to Tiltrim. I'm going to kill some more things around here. I'm going to level up a little bit, and then I'm going to get stronger. I think I'm going to increase my party size a little bit as well. So I think I want to go up to maybe I've got 7 fighters at the moment. I probably want to go up to about 9, I think, heading back into Vitruce. And so this region scaled mode, it really changes the way the game feels. It changes the balance of some classes because of the size of the groups and the health of the groups, that kind of thing. And it really changes the difficulty curve of the game as well. So I would probably say that for the first part of Tiltron, when you're establishing your group, it's a little bit harder until you get maybe 5 or 6 members in the group. Once you get maybe 6 members in Tiltron, you're going to feel a little bit more stable, quite strong. Once you get up to 7 and start getting level 3, level 4, you'll start taking these fights more easily than you otherwise would have. But you need to use that time effectively, efficiently, that kind of thing, to level up for when you venture out of Tiltron. And if you venture out too early, it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. Okay, so look, that's a little bit of an overview of the no scaling mode, hopefully without too many spoilers. If you do want to investigate it more yourself, you probably should have stopped watching earlier, but that's fine as well. And overall, the no scaling mode feels very fresh, very new, even for someone like me who's got a couple of 100 hours in the game now. And it changes the pace of how I like playing the game, but in a good way. So I'm really excited about it. That pretty much ticks off what is in the latest community update. The only other thing that I think I failed to mention during the mechanical changes were fights against the ghost pack. So when you come up across a ghost pack, it used to be that when one of your companions killed a ghost, it would reduce everyone's terror by 1. Now, instead of reducing everyone's terror by 1, you reduce that companion's terror, the one who made the kill, by 3 instead. So you've got to be a little bit more careful with your positioning, and you definitely don't want to get up to 5 stacks of terror. But it's a good change. Makes that ghost pack just that little bit more frightening again. Alright guys, well, that's a very quick overview of the changes within the latest community update. I hope you enjoy. The no scale mode, I guarantee you, contains hours and hours of additional entertainment. But I would probably recommend, if you are brand new to the game, trying out the scaled mode first, just because then you can get a little bit more used to what some of the enemies do and what the level deficit really means. Because if you are level 4 coming up against level 6, you're going to want to use every mechanic available to you to try to overcome those fights. Alright guys, that is CAG over and out. Enjoy the update.